microphone straight away. That's professional, isn't it? You don't get that on bloody normal news. Welcome, everyone. This is our live stream news every morning. I'm Justin from Juicy Killer Monster. Thank you for joining us. We are reading the news basically for an hour each morning. I know you guys are busy, so I want to do my best to help you all, keep you informed, and get myself out of bed early in the morning. Can't be sleeping in all day, can I? Give myself a slap. Hope you're well. If you're watching this on playback, thank you very much. I know not everyone can make our lives, but thank you for watching it on playback, and for those that are on the live, welcome. So let's begin. So the top stories today. CCTV shows masked man pulled a gun on a healthcare boss moments before targeted killing in New York. Guess where my stepdaughter is right now? New York, on a trip with college. And a masked man's just killed a United Healthcare boss. That's going to keep me warm at night, do you know what I mean? Video shows masked man pull gun on United Healthcare boss Brian Thompson moments before fatal shooting in New York City. The motive for the killing is so far unclear, but his wife says Mr. Thompson has been receiving threats. As a healthcare boss, he's been receiving threats. Let's dig into it, shall we? Video has emerged of the moments before the murder of a top healthcare boss on a New York City street in what police believe was a targeted hit. Brian Thompson is shown walking in Manhattan when the killer appears from behind a car and raises a gun, believed to have been fitted with a silencer from about 15 foot. After the footage cuts, the gunman is shown running across the street and disappearing. Yeah, I think he made off on an electric bike. Authorities said the man fled on an electric bike into Central Park. The attacker, so it says here, Mr. Thompson was the boss of a major US health insurer, United Health Group AP. The attacker fired multiple times at Mr. Thompson and continued despite the gun briefly jamming, according to police. Mr. Thompson, 50, was hit at least once in the back and once in the calf during the attack, which happened on 6th Avenue around 6:45 a.m. local time on Wednesday. Good evening, Pete. Just had my good friend Pete from Australia, Adventures in the Ute. Check out his channel, join. Talking about that geezer that got shot in America, mate. He was taken to hospital but couldn't be saved. Wow. They got pictures of the gunman. Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch said the killer appeared to have been lying in wait for several minutes for Mr. Thompson. This does not appear to be a random act of violence. Every indication is that this was premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack, she said. CCTV images appear to show a white man wearing all black clothing and carrying a grey backpack. Chief of Detective Joseph Kenny added, from watching the video, it does seem that he's proficient in the use of firearms and he was able to clear the malfunctions pretty quickly. So yeah, basically he's hidden weight. As mateys come out, he's gone to shoot him, his gun's malfunctioned, he's not an amateur and just ran off. He's cleared the blockage there and then, probably cleared the chamber, got the bullet out, and unloaded on him, mate, and then got on a electric bike. Poor guy. I've got theories as to why potentially something could happen like this, but I'll tell you after this. Pete says, crazy world we live these days, bring back the 80s. Yes, mate, you're right, Pete. DeLoreans and Madonna, mate, that's what we need. Right. It said drones, helicopters and dogs are now involved in the hunt for the killer. The scene of the shooting is a short walk from the tourist sites such as the Museum of Modern Art and the Rockefeller Center. Mr. Thompson, who lived in Minnesota, was chief executive of United Healthcare and was murdered on his way to his investor conference at a nearby Hilton hotel. God, I can't believe Hannah, my stepdaughter, is out in New York when this is going on, mate. Just typical, isn't it? The motive for the killing is unclear, but his wife told NBC News he had been receiving threats that suggested they have involved issues with insurance coverage. United Healthcare is the largest provider of Medicare Advantage plans in America and manages insurance for employers and state and federally funded programs. The company's conference started at 8 a.m. as planned. However, the chief executive of United Health Group, Andrew Whitty, went on stage after an hour to say events were cancelled. No crap, they were cancelled. Bloody right. Can't just carry on with the conference with someone who's just been shot, mate. Pete goes, yeah, that's what I thought when I heard it on the news here tonight. Hey, don't tell me you're watching other news programs, Pete. What? There's other news programs out there? No, don't say it, Pete. You're breaking my heart now, mate. There's only so much I can take, Pete, all right? I won't have you playing away from this channel, mate, all right? Mr. Thompson had worked for the firm since 2004 and had led the insurance arm since 2021. We are working closely with the New York Police Department and ask for your patience and understanding during this difficult time. A company statement said, our hearts go out to Brian's family and who were close to him. Wow, mate. So, there's a couple of things I want to talk about there. So, we'll start off with, yeah, Pete goes, you're still waking up, mate. I literally got out of bed half an hour ago. So we'll start the title again. So it says CCTV shows masked man pulled gun on healthcare boss moments before targeted killing in New York. Now, I don't know about you. I watch a lot of programs, and this piqued my interest because there's one program I watch on TV called The Resident. Okay, and it's about US healthcare and the hospitals and the insurances and stuff like that. And it's probably where this gunman's got his idea from, because people on that program get shot. So what happens is a member of their family will go into hospital. They've been given the wrong treatment, or they've been given the wrong diagnosis, and the member dies, or their insurance isn't working, isn't valid, and doesn't cover them, and then they die. And then family members are obviously grieving and upset, going nuts, stalk down people and kill him. And I reckon something like this has happened. I reckon it's either a disgruntled employee who's lost his job, either at the hospital or the insurance company that the guy was a part of or the boss of, or I reckon a family member or something like that has got an insurance through their company which hasn't paid out, which means they can't get the treatment and has potentially affected himself or a member of his family. It's sad, mate, isn't it? It's sad, you know. He's gone out, he's premeditated, he's killed this geezer, and this geezer's got a family, everything else. He can't just rock up and solve your problems with a gun and start shooting people. Not good, not good. But anyway, on a lighter note, how are we doing, everyone, today? We've got 4 people on the live at the moment. Got my good mate Pete, Adventures in the Ute. He's from Melbourne, Australia. Check out his channel, Adventures in the Ute. Not a problem, Pete. If you're watching this on playback, thank you very much. We'll be doing news reports most mornings. If I'm not up doing a news report, it's because my alarm clock hasn't gone off and I've been lazy. You don't get that with every other news channels, do you? But here we are. We're here today. So I want to talk about this next one. Bitcoin. Has anyone got Bitcoin out there? Or you like me, you've always wanted to have a bit of Bitcoin, but you don't really understand it. And you don't even know how you get your money back out of it. Pete's just had pizza for tea. What pizza did you have, Pete? This is the real news everyone wants to hear. What Pete had for tea. Not what's going on in the world. Everyone wants to know what Pete, eventually you, had on his pizza for tea. Come on, it's breaking news, Pete. It's breaking news. So, next story. Bitcoin hits $100,000 as Trump picks cryptocurrency fan to head financial watchdog. As of 4 a.m. in the UK, Bitcoin was trading at $103,280, which is £81,160, having leapt in value by 7.9% in the previous 24 hours. People have got to be made up, mate, ain't they? Whoever's got Bitcoin's got to be made up. Pete says barbecue, meat lovers, and garlic and cheese. Oh, get that garlic away from me, Pete. That's what Lucy's about. She's about all that garlic mayo, mate. Do you know what I mean? Oh, good luck to you, mate. Good luck to you. The world's biggest cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, has been valued at more than $100,000 for the first time, spurred on by Donald Trump's latest nomination for his presidential team. The cryptocurrency was valued at $103,000 as of 4:10 UK time, leaping in 7.9% in the previous 24 hours, according to currency converter xe.com. It's the high watermark of a surge in buying that started on 5th of November and the day of the US election. Since then, the price has risen by around 45% from $69,000. Wow. $69,000 to $103,000, basically overnight. The rally has also been stoked by a series of the president-elect's appointments, with Paul Atkins being picked to chair the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, on the same day that the cryptocurrency reached its benchmark number. A former SEC commissioner under George W. Bush, Mr. Atkins has frequently made the case against too much market regulation and has been a vocal cryptocurrency advocate. Man, it's crazy. It's saying in 2020, Bitcoin was just under 10 grand. And I'm guessing that's 10 grand for a Bitcoin. Yeah, Pete says here, oh, cheers, Pete. He saved me a piece of garlic pizza. Cheers, brother. He goes, I went to try Bitcoin and it was a scam. Yeah, that's the problem, innit, mate? If you don't know what you're doing, and I don't know what I'm doing with Bitcoin or anything like that. My mate does it, but we'll talk about the stock markets and that in a bit, because I did dabble. And you'll laugh. Let's put it this way: I donated some money to the US stock exchange. Posted on Truth Social, Mr. Trump said of his new appointment, he believes in the promise of robust, innovative capital markets that are responsive to the needs of investors and that provide capital to make our economy the best in the world. He also recognises that digital assets and other innovations are crucial to making America greater than ever before. So there's a quick one here. What is cryptocurrency? And I'm not saying you don't know what cryptocurrency is, but I need to know really a bit more about it. So let's have a look. In simple terms, cryptocurrency is digital money. It is designed to work through an online network without a central authority, meaning it is not recorded by any government or bank. Transactions using crypto, such as Bitcoin or Ethereum, are instead tracked by technology called the blockchain, an unchangeable shared digital ledger. Digital coins can be very volatile, meaning their price can fluctuate rapidly and are mostly unregulated. Don't put your life savings in, all right? The UK's Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, considers crypto high risk and has called for regulation. Yeah. Regulation, so they can get a bit out of it. Pete said, I almost lost $250. Bank gave it back to me. Yeah, you got to be careful, Pete, and well done, mate, for getting your money back. People getting scammed. There was that guy, wasn't there? You remember? He set up his own coin. I don't remember what name of the coin was. You'll probably know. This guy set up his own kind of Bitcoin cryptocurrency, and he was taking the money out, wasn't he? People were putting their money in, and he was taking it out and spending it on himself. He's in prison for like 20, 30 years. I'm not sure if it probably isn't. I think Dogecoin's another coin. I'm not sure if this was the guy that did it or not, but it was another coin allegedly, apparently. So that's why I never leapt in, mate. You know, I'm old school. Like, if I can't see something and that, I'm scared to death and put my money into it because I've worked too hard for it. Like, do you know what I mean? He was the first presidential candidate to accept donations in crypto assets. This is Trump. While Vice President elect JD Vance has been strongly supportive of digital currency. Now, JD Vance, if you don't know, who is the Vice President to Donald Trump, he was the main star of what the film Hillbilly Elegy was about on Netflix. A really good film, come from very humble beginnings to now, you know, vice president and probably president one day. Yeah, Pete says I'm the same. Yeah, you got to be, mate. You got to watch your money in it. Spent 42 years of my life grafting, mate. I can't just be giving it onto some coin. I've got no idea where the money goes or nothing. Do you know what I mean? I'll tell you a funny story about me doing investing on eToro. I'll tell you what, I did all right. But this is why I stopped eToro. I'll tell you in a minute. So Jordan Libowitz, a spokesperson for the government watchdog group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, said at the time that Mr. Trump's pro-crypto stance was troubling, while starting a way to personally benefit from it. Yeah, well, who else in that position wouldn't benefit from it in some way? Human nature, innit? Human nature. So anyway, yes, cryptocurrency. So Pete kindly shared there that he put $250 into what he thought was Bitcoin, and it was a scam. Now, luckily, he got the money back from the bank, but I mean, that's going to put you off cryptocurrency for life. It certainly would put me off if I put my first $250 into it, and you just get ripped and bumped from the word go. Now, my mate's got a bit of crypto. I think he's got a bit of Bitcoin. And then you got these people that do Bitcoin mining. If anyone on here knows about Bitcoin mining, either mention in the comments now if you're live, or if you're on playback, leave a comment and tell about Bitcoin mining. Because I saw something. Yeah, Pete says he'll never do it again. I don't blame you, Pete. I saw something about Bitcoin mining, and somebody's got all these computers set up in their house, and he says it's Bitcoin mining. They're working all day or night, and for X amount of whatever it does, it earns him 0.01 of a Bitcoin or something. So, yeah, Bitcoin mining. Let us know about that. But anyway, I'll tell you about my stock exchange experience. So I've wanted to get into stocks and shares for ages. And I watched loads of videos on YouTube about these day traders, yeah? Because I was just interested in day trading. Get in, make a small profit and get out. Okay, red candles, green candles. That's all I'll say. Anyway, I opened my eToro account, signed a W8 Ben tax form, and and what I did, I looked at companies that were like the penny stocks. I think I'd watched The Wolf of Wall Street about 3 times before doing it, you know, to properly educate myself. So I stayed away from these big ones like, you know, the index funds and stuff like that, because that's over a long time and everything. I was just interested in day trading and making a quick buck. So I picked 8 companies and I put like $10 worth of shares into this company that was like 50 cents a share, and this and that and this and that. And what it does when you put it in, obviously if you put $10 in, I think you get like $9 worth of shares or something like that, and eToro takes their bit of the pie before you start it. Now what happens is, as soon as you're in profit per share, it goes from red to green. Okay, now me being so skittish with it, like I was saying with cryptocurrency as well, me being so skittish with it, what would happen is I'd put $10 on, it'd go to $9 straight away because eToro takes its share. And as soon as it goes to $11, I go, sell. So I'd only make like $1 there or 50 cents there. I haven't got the constitute for it, you know what I mean? But anyway, I think I did 8 to 10 different trades, and 9 of the trades, yeah, I did 10 trades. 9 of the trades I made profit. Very small profit, but I made profit to prove I could do it, yeah? But on the 10th one, lost my ass, man. I went and saw this company, and I didn't do my research on the company or anything. I was just, yeah, I'll just day trade in, day trade out. Okay, big mistake. The company was, it was like 10 cents a share. So I put $80 on it. So I thought I'm gonna have a load of shares here, and if that goes up slightly, I can trade out and make a good little bit of profit. Mate, I put $80 on the company at 6 o'clock at night. I woke up at 8 o'clock the next morning, went on my eToro account, and the company went bankrupt. So I put $80 on a company the night before it went bankrupt because I did no research at all. And my shares went down from like, I think they went 10 cents a share down to like 2 cents a share, and I just sold them. I just thought I've got to get something back, and basically I turned $80 into like $5 overnight, and yeah, that was funny. That was funny. So yeah, I haven't done it since then, and I've got rid of me eToro account. Pete says I only put in what I'm willing to use. Yeah, because it's like gambling, isn't it? It's like a fruit machine. It's like my poison at a casino is roulette. Yeah, I love. I know, Pete. Tell me about it. I know, my poison at a casino is roulette. You know, red and black, a few numbers. Got my winning strategy. Yeah, and that's what I like to play in a casino. I don't understand poker. I never will. Blackjack. Yeah, it's 21. All that. But I'm a roulette man because I know I can see what it's about. I understand it. Anything I don't understand, I don't do. So I might get back into trading another day of it. I just thought, oh, Jesus Christ, next time I just have to do a bit of research. Do you know what I mean? But to be fair, out of 10 different trades I did, 9 of them I made profit on. But it's just typical, isn't it? You put a load of money on a company. It was penny stocks. Um, and you put money in a company and it goes pop the night. But I hope that gave you all a laugh and shows you how much of a business mogul I really am. Yeah, that said, I won't be investing in crypto. Good luck to anyone that does, and I'm sure you'll all make a good lot of money about it. So how is everyone this morning? Are you on your way to work? What you got planned for today? Pete, my good mate, has got he's had garlic on his pizza. Pete, what you doing? But let's have a look. So we spoke about that one. Let's have a look at this one. So this has just dropped an hour ago. Just a quick one. And now for the weather. It is currently the 5th of December, 20 past 8 in the UK in the morning. And it's 13 degrees during the day and 6 degrees at night. And guess what? Cloudy and miserable with a chance of meatballs. Now Lucy's asleep, mate. She's upstairs asleep. I'm down here doing me news, mate. Only bit of peace and quiet I get, Pete. Right. So, this next story. Visa delays crippling lives of hundreds of UK migrants, even when they have British children. Almost 1,000 migrants under certain visas in the UK are waiting more than a year to find out if they can stay. The most waiting significantly longer. They can face job losses and debt even when they have the legal right to work. Big picture of UK Border Force here. It says hundreds of migrants living in the UK are facing agonising delays in finding out if they can stay, despite some having British children. Most immigrants in the UK have to apply to extend their stay every 30 months before qualifying to remain indefinitely after either 5 or 10 years, paying thousands of pounds each time. In many cases, the Home Office aims to respond within 8 weeks, but figures obtained by Sky News show 902 immigrants seeking study or partner visas have been waiting more than a year. Lengthy delays can cause applicants to lose their jobs, have their benefits suspended, and leave them dealing with crippling debt, even if they already live in the country legally. Independent migration policy researcher Zoe Gardner said the figures, which also show 167 cases have remained unresolved for at least 20 years, point to a problem at the Home Office. These delays can seriously impact people's lives, even if it's 900 people waiting over a year. This is potentially life ruining for those people, and it's clearly systemic, they've told the reporter. So, before we go into the next bit, you've got the migrants coming over for a better life, fair play to them. But because there's such a backlog in all the paperwork and stuff like that, they're building up debts, they're not being able to receive benefits, or they're going to lose their job because their status is unclear. Which isn't fair. It isn't fair. And it's the system behind that, just like the court system we were talking about yesterday. People are getting delayed court hearings and stuff like that for years, and you've got the victims and the perpetrators. Same with the migrants and the immigrants, trying to get a better life here in the UK, and they're being slowed down because of the, unworthy system in place. Pete says it's currently 32 degrees Celsius at 7:21 p.m. Melbourne, Australia, and had a high of 35 today, low of 21. God, what I would do for that heat, Pete, man. Over it, it's cold. We've got heating on. Got the heating on now, mate. And the heating on during the day on the thermostat. And 1 minute I'm hot, I've got to turn the heating off. Next minute I'm cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. I go to bed feeling like I've got a bloody fever, mate. Anyway, let's get back into it. Applicants are charged £1,258 just to submit forms for what the Home Office refers to as leave to remain visas. £1,035 per year to use the NHS, plus potentially £1,000 more in legal fees. Now, I didn't know any of this. I didn't know that the applicants in migration, the immigrants, have to pay this stuff. So let's read that bit again. So, the immigrants that have come over, applicants that are applying for a visa, okay? So applicants are charged £1,258 just to submit the forms for what the Home Office refers to as leave to remain visas, right? And they also have to pay £1,035 per year to use the NHS, plus potentially thousands more in legal fees. I don't know where they get their money from, mate. I couldn't afford to do all that. Bloody hell. Parents of 4 children, Ali and Sadie, who qualified for spouse visas after visiting Britain, said they applied for a fee waiver to dodge an £8,000 bill for their 3rd extension in May. Now, that's not an extension on property, that's an extension on their visa. 3 of the children are British citizens, having been born in the UK and lived here for 10 years, while their 8-year-old daughter is part of the current application. But more than 18 months later, they are still waiting for an answer. A delay, they told Sky News, has cost Ali his job over the uncertainty, left them in debt and relying on food banks. Now my husband's work is gone. We're relying on my end. It's not enough, said Sadie, who works as a carer, and like Ali, didn't want to give her name in the wake of the Southport riots. For anyone who doesn't know what the Southport riots are, anti-immigration protests and right-wing groups find out the hotels where these immigrants are staying that have come over, and they're bloody trying to burn the place down with the people in there. What's going on, people? Going to firebombing the place and smashing the windows and turning up en masse trying to kill people. Allegedly, apparently. It's terrible. It says it's taking food away from our children's mouths, so we go back to food banks, and this all impacts our health. It makes you feel like you're in the wrong place, even with British children. So Pete's just said they had to push wheelbarrows of soil in that 35-degree heat, sweating like crazy. He says it's the same there for the migrants, and you don't get free medical care either. Well, yeah, in the UK, so we have got private medical care in the UK. You can pay for private medical care. I'm not really sure how it works, but you just pay a bit. And if you go in a hospital and there's something wrong with you and you've got to stay in there for a bit, you can get transferred to a private healthcare on your insurance, like Bupa, stuff like that. And um, then you'll be in a better condition hospital and stuff like this and stuff like that. I used to work at a private hospital as a pot wash when I was 17. One of the best jobs I ever had. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Um, but yeah, so the NHS, National Health Service in the UK, is paid for by taxpayers' money. So it's free, although you have to pay for your prescriptions, the service is free. Um, other than, obviously, part of your tax that you pay goes to it. But if it didn't go on that, it'd just go on something else. They wouldn't stop taking your money. Do you know what I mean? So that's how the healthcare system works in the UK, and you have to pay for whatever prescriptions you got, unless you're on the benefit system and you get those prescriptions for free. Now, yeah, I used to work at a pot wash at a hospital. This is many moons ago. This is back in, it's got to be 99. Yeah, about 1999. We're going back to the future, or back to the past. Anyway, Nuffield Hospital in Guildford, private hospital, yeah, one of the best jobs I ever had. I used to ride my push bike 15 miles from Aldershot to Guildford, where the hospital was, Nuffield Private Hospital. And my main job was washing the dishes, washing all the pots, cleaning all the kitchen up, doing the prep for the chefs, taking the deliveries in for the food at 17 years old, and serving the food for all the staff at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 12-hour shifts. And back then, in 1999, I was getting paid £8 an hour, which is good wages back then. Back in 1999, £8 an hour, 12-hour shifts, as many as I wanted. Now, the best thing about the job was they had showers and all this sort of stuff there. But they used to feed you as well, right? So you'd have breakfast, lunch, and dinner there, right? And when I say the food was top notch, the chefs they had doing the food, okay, were top chefs. There was one from Ireland, there was one from London, this and that. Top chefs, really good chefs, like borderline celebrity chefs. Like they've worked at like the posh restaurants and stuff like this and the posh hotels as like proper chefs. And the food they used to cook was amazing. So I'd be sat there with a gourmet breakfast, roast dinner for lunch, mate, and tea and all this. And then guess who was in charge of the vending machine stock? Now, on a private hospital, the vending machine stock is in this separate room, and I'm the only one with a key to it, right? And all the stock, like the packs of Rolos, the Lion bars, the crisps, the drinks, that was all in the room, and I was allowed to help myself. So you can imagine me, mate, 17-year-old nipper, riding his bike 15 miles to work, 15 miles back every day, getting paid £8 an hour, getting fed like an absolute king, and I was in charge of the vending machine stock. I should have kept that job, but I left it because I joined the army. I remember as well, one good thing about the job, because it was £8 an hour, if they asked you to work on a bank holiday, the justice, right? Because they ask you to, if they ask you to work on a bank holiday, or like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, stuff like that, that you didn't get double time, you got triple time, okay? And hardly anyone was in the hospital because everyone wants their relatives out for Christmas, yeah, unless there's really sick people. So they said, does anyone want to work over Christmas? And I went, yeah, I'll work. Hungry for money, mate, hungry for food. And they said, oh yeah, I said, yeah, I'll do a 12-hour shift, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So put me down for it. So I turn up, mate. The hospital is like a ghost, like empty derelict building, mate. There's only me there, the chef, a couple of cleaners, a couple of security guards, and a couple of doctors. That's it. So there's bugger all washing up to do, really. Hardly anything to do. Just sat round with my thumb up my ass all day, walking around the hospital having a laugh. And I was getting paid back in 1999, 17-year-old lad. I was getting paid £24 an hour for 12-hour shifts, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, with nothing to do but doss about in the vending machine stock area. Like I say, one of the best jobs I ever had, and I actually wish, right? I actually wish I'd stayed at that job, because I could have got an apprenticeship as starting off as a chef. Because I used to do all the prep for them and everything else, like for all the salads and stuff, chop up all the veg, and I really enjoyed it. But I had no guidance back then. You know what I mean? I literally come back from college one day, stopped at the army recruitment office, and I want to join the army. Boom, in the army. Funny how life goes, isn't it? But I remember the chef, one of the chefs, Tracy. She told me. She goes, "Why are you leaving this job?" She goes, "It's a really good job. You've got loads of hours, loads of money. Why are you leaving it?" And she was right. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have left that job, mate. The staff were lovely. How much tax you had to pay? Yeah. Well, it was a proper job. Got taxed and everything before, but put it like this: working part time at the hospital, because normally I just work Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. When I put in those bank holiday shifts and that, I think I cleared. I think I cleared about £1,500 that month for a part-time 17-year-old lad just cleaning up dishes. That's a lot of money for me, mate. That bought my little motorbike back then. This and that and everything else. It was really good. But you look back at some jobs and you think, you know what, I should have stayed at that job. And that's one of those I should have stayed at. I should have stayed at Potwash for a year or so. I should have done a college course in catering, and I should have winged it with them to say, look, let me do my apprenticeship here to learn how to cook. And they would have done it, because they're really good. But anyway, let's get back to the problem. So the story. So we're talking about the immigration problems in backlogs and what the immigrants have to pay and stuff. So why can delays be a problem? Immigrants who aren't asylum seekers and submit their application to extend their stay before their current visa expires are allowed to remain in the country while their case is processed. This is known as free C leave. But in some cases, the Home Office fails to provide documents or a share code for applicants to prove they are in the country legally. This means potentially thousands of people are at risk of losing their jobs each year through no fault of their own. In June this year, a High Court judge ruled the government had acted unlawfully by failing to provide applicants with proof of their status. Mr. Justice Kavanagh said the absence of proof has serious adverse consequences, adding, where these problems bite, the consequences are very severe indeed. He ruled in favour of healthcare worker Cecilia Adjei, who has 2 children, one of whom is a British citizen. She waited nearly a year for a decision and was suspended from her job twice in that time. Yeah, because the job's saying, no matter how good at your job, the job's turning around and saying, look, we don't know if you're going to be here in 6 months, mate. We're going to get someone else in, which is wrong because you haven't done anything wrong. Processing time aims may vary according to demand and could be as long as 12 months for certain spouse applications. Anyone who doesn't apply in time faces a much higher, longer wait than usual and won't qualify for free C leave. So, big bold letters, how long can we do this? Ali said he lost his job in security when his contract was due for renewal in September, after he couldn't prove his employers he has the right to work. He fears they won't be able to afford their next round of applications, adding, how will I work and raise money while paying bills in just another 2.5 years for free applications? Even if I work every month, I can't afford the fees. We don't know if we will qualify for a fee waiver. We have to save now, but how long can we do this for? To make matters worse, Said's father died last month in Nigeria, but because she won't be allowed back in the country until her status is clarified, she will miss the funeral. So she can't even go to her dad's funeral in Nigeria, because if she leaves the UK to go to the funeral, they won't let her back in until the status is cleared. It's terrible. The family has also planned to take the children aged 8, 12, 13, and 18 on their first ever trip abroad over the summer, a holiday they had to cancel for the same reason. Jeez Louise, mate. Imagine taking your family on holiday, right? I'll just go away for a couple of weeks holiday, something you're really looking forward to, and you go get back on the plane to come to the UK and they won't let you back in. Nah, not allowed back in. Unbelievable. Pete says, how much can England really take in immigration? Not a big country. Yeah, well, it's a fair and valid point, Pete. How much immigration can we take in? I suppose, how long's a bit of string, mate? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I haven't got a problem with any immigrants coming over at all if they're in real need to get away from their country, okay? If they're tourism and they want to visit the country, or if they've got a good trade or they want a better life and they want to better themselves and add to the local communities that they go in. You get good people in life, you get bad people in life. Okay, some are going to be good, some are going to be bad. If we can stop the bad from coming in, I'm happy with everyone coming here and integrating into society, because I just think of it like this: we're all human beings, okay? We're all on God's earth. We're all human beings, okay? Yeah, you're my brother, you're my sister, okay? Now, if I needed to go to another country because it was unsafe here, I would hope to be welcomed and not turned away just because I'm not what they're used to. And that's how I feel on the immigration. But we will see, Pete. We will see how many immigrants England really can take in. As you say, it's not the biggest country in the world, is it? But let's have a look. So the Home Office failure. Since 2020, the Refugee and Migrant Forum of Essex and London, RAMFEL, has been tracking how its clients have fared during free sea leave and claims 17% have suffered serious detriment. If replicated on a national level, the group estimates 40,000 people on free sea leave could lose their job each year, compounded by the Home Office's failure to respond to employment verification checks in a timely manner. Ramfel's head of campaigning, Nick Beals, told Sky News there are crueler aspects of the immigration system, but nothing better evidences its dysfunction than parents of British citizens waiting nearly 2 years for renewal. He goes, the figures obtained by the journalist show 346 partner visa applications have been unresolved for more than 10 years, which Madeline Sumption, director of Migration Observatory at Oxford University, described as puzzling. In theory, delays are a problem addressed with more resources. It is fixable, she told the newspaper. Adding another option could be to simplify the process by requiring fewer applications. A Home Office source acknowledged applicants can sometimes take longer to process, but said they can vary in complexity depending on the individual circumstances. They added employers can check on an individual status with the department while the application is pending. It means little to Ali, who said they have already spent a costly year and a half waiting for the process that will need them to go through the same applications again within 3 months. Sometimes the children look at us and ask why we are sad, he said. Even if they give it today, it doesn't make sense anymore. We will need to raise money again to renew the visas. I don't know how we are going to do it. So, sad story, innit? Chop Chop says, we are all migrants, Romans, Normans, Vikings, and everything else since and it disappears. Chop chop. Good to see you, chop chop. Yeah, we are. We're all migrants, mate. Believe it or not, my great granddad, okay, my great granddad, who I never met, on my grand's side, so my grand's dad, yeah, my great granddad, he wore a turban straight out of India, mate. I seen a picture. I seen a picture of him with my gran when she was 16 years old with a push bike. She stood next to him, and I said, Who's that man next to you?" She goes, "That's my dad, straight out of India." Apparently, half the family on my grand side was from India, mate. There are tea plantations in India. So his name was Sir Leonard Randolph Yachi. Something you didn't know? That's the real news, guys. But yeah, so in your families, guys, so Pete and Chop Chop, is anyone in your families from a different nationality, a different country, that makes you who you are today? As Chop Chop says, we're all migrants, Romans, Normans, Vikings, and everything else. Yeah, you're right, my mate. You're right. Let's have a look here. Ooh, this one looks a bit juicy. Oh no, man. How's everyone doing today? I've got another story I'm going to talk about in a minute. Hope you're enjoying this live stream news. Thank you for taking part if you are on the actual live stream. And if you're watching the playback, thank you for watching. And we will be doing live stream news most mornings at 8 o'clock. And if it's scheduled for me to do a live stream news and you come on here at 8 o'clock and it's not on, it will be on. I've just been too much of a lazy ass to get out of bed, and I will do it. I will do it as soon as I wake up. But so far, we're free for free, mate. 8 o'clock in the morning, last 3 days. Whoop, whoop. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Let me have a little sip of me water. Right, let's get on to the next story. Pete says, not that I know, Australian-born English Welsh parents. Fair enough. Yeah, you see a lot of Welsh heritage in people. I watch a program on YouTube, Matt's Off Road Recovery. Guy lives in like Arizona, Utah, and I think his mum's Welsh. You know what I mean? His mum's Welsh, and I think his dad's American. So yeah, there's loads of mix, mate. It's good. Like Lucy, believe it or not, Lucy is from a Dutch family. Her dad, Edward, who's no longer with us, he is straight out of Holland. He used to play football for Ajax, okay? The best team in Holland back in the day. He was at war with the Japanese, mate, and he was a prisoner of war and all this stuff. But they're Dutch, but they came from a Dutch colony in Indonesia. Now, Lucy was born in the UK, so she's British through and through. And the whole time she's known me, obviously, she said she was Dutch. But she said, oh no, we were a Dutch colony in Indonesia. So if Lucy was born in Britain, right, see if you can help me out this. If Lucy was born in Britain and her family were part of a Dutch colony in Indonesia, is she Dutch or is she Indonesian or is she British with Indonesian heritage or British with Dutch heritage? Answer that one for me in the comments if you're live right now, or comments on playback, because that'd be interesting to know. Chop Chop says, family legend has it, my great-great-grandmother had my great-grandfather by Edward the 7th. She worked in service at Windsor Castle, so I am well diluted. Wow, thanks for sharing, Chop Chop. That's Paul, for everyone who doesn't know. It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Yeah, my gran, like, because her dad, obviously the guy with the turban, Sir Leonard Randolph Yachi, had a tea plantation somewhere in India. Apparently they had loads of money. I ain't never seen none of it, but apparently they had loads of money. But when my gran met my granddad was from Yorkshire He was a Yorkshire lad. He was a coal miner, working in the coal mines from the age of 11 from a poor family. And I think when my gran married my granddad, when my gran married my granddad, my great granddad, my gran's dad, said to her, if you marry him, I think he said you're cut out of the will or whatever. And she chose love over money. And good job she did, because she didn't, we wouldn't be here. But apparently, and my gran's obviously not with us anymore, but apparently her sisters are all lords and ladies in the UK and like Surrey and Hampshire. So somewhere out there, maybe we've got links to very, very rich people, but all it ever did with me was leave me in an overdraft, boys. Do you know what I mean? Pete says British with Dutch Indonesian heritage. Yeah, that's the one. Where in Yorkshire? I don't know whereabouts in Yorkshire, mate, but my granddad's story is his name was Stanley Davies. He used to talk like this. Like every time me gran would talk to him, he'd say, "Shut up, woman, just shut up." And he'd have a big pack of Imperial mints. And every time she'd annoy him, instead of picking up a cigarette, he'd pick up a mint, look at me and go, "Eat his mint." "God bloody woman, shut up." So yeah, he's from a coal mining family. Like his brother used to be the main support for the family. If something happened to the dad, I don't know, and he worked in a coal mine, and the brother died, and then my granddad got pulled out of school at about 11, 12 years old to be the main breadwinner for the family, and got sent down into the mines, mate. And he was a coal miner supporting his brother's sisters and his mum. And then he joined the army later on at the Royal Artillery, and then he transferred over to the Royal Veterinary Corps. And then as he was shoeing a horse booted him in the head. He had major surgery. He pulled like a vein or an artery or something out of his leg and put it in his head. And he got medically discharged from the army and was on a war pension for the rest of his life, bless him. Pete says he loves English accents. Yep, Yorkshire accents like this, lad. I'm from North, I'm Yorkshire. I'm not one of these soft southerners. Yeah, I'm from Yorkshire, lad. I've worked in coal mines my whole life. And then you've got the Southerners, like me. We talk a bit like this, mate. Like, what are you looking at, mate? What's your problem, mate? Yeah? And then we got the country boys down in Devon and Cornwall. Because I got family from Devon, you see. And this is how we talk. Now, if you got Welsh heritage, all the Welsh talk a bit like this, boy. You know what I'm saying? You just got to elongate the words a little bit of what you're saying. And then when it's a big word, you say it really fast, like Ponty Pinty Pool. My best impressions for you, Pete. Chop Chop said, my sister did our family tree. I am related to Dick Turpin and to Howland. That was on the Mayflower as part of the Constitution. Dick Turpin, I think he was like a master thief or something, when he Pete? Paul? Because I remember when I used to sell ice cream, I used to sell crap ice cream for expensive money. And one of the customers saw right through it and he went, bloody hell, even Dick Turpin wore a mask. Because I put a little scoop of cheap ice cream and I came out, yeah, it's a pound, mate. Even Dick Turpin wore a mask, mate. Yeah, highwayman, that was it. Yeah, he was a highwayman. That's funny. Right, let's get on to the last story of the day. Dozens of nations hit by China. Hack as Americans warned to stop sending text. And then just to finish off, they hanged Dick Turpin. Sorry to hear that, mate. The hacking campaign is one of the largest intelligence compromises in US history, which at least 8 major companies were targeted. Dozens of nations have been hit by a Chinese hacking campaign, a senior White House official has said. Carried out by a group dubbed Salt Typhoon, it is one of the largest intelligent compromises in US history. China hacked at least 8 major US telecommunication companies, including AT&T, Verizon, and Lumen Technologies, resulting in officials in Beijing having access to the private texts and calls of a large number of Americans, Washington says. Now, US officials have urged Americans to use encrypted messaging apps to minimize the chances of China intercepting their communications. But senior White House official Ann Neuberger has said authorities don't believe any classified communications have been compromised. She added, "We do not believe it's every cell phone in the country, but we believe it's potentially a large number of individuals that had the Chinese government was focused on." Jeff Green, Executive Assistant, Director of Cybersecurity at the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, said the scope of the compromise is so significant that it was impossible for authorities to predict a time frame on when we'll have full eviction. A separate senior US official declined to provide specific details about the hack, but said that China's access to America's telecommunications network was potentially broad and that there was a risk of ongoing compromise. The official said the White House had made tackling the hack a priority and that President Joe Biden had been briefed several times on the intrusions. On Tuesday, the Chinese embassy in Washington rejected the accusations that it was responsible for the hack. The US needs to stop its own cyber attacks against other countries and refrain from using cybersecurity to smear and slander China, embassy spokesperson Liu Pengyu said. Privacy advocates have long supported the use of end-to-end encrypted apps. Signal and WhatsApp automatically implement end-to-end encryption in both calls and messages. Google Messages and iMessage also encrypt calls and texts end-to-end. The hackers access 3 types of information, an FBI official said. One was call records. It showed the numbers, phone calls, and when the hackers focusing on records around Washington, D.C. The second type has been live phone calls of specific targets, with the FBI declining to say how many alerts they had sent to those targets. However, both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris's presidential campaigns told Sky US partner network NBC that the FBI had told them they were targets. The third type of information accessing the systems that allow law enforcement and intelligence agencies to track people's communications. Well, there we go. What do we reckon, guys? Do we reckon there's something in it? Is it slander for people just to slag off the Chinese government again and accuse them like they accuse Huawei of spying on everyone allegedly, apparently? Or are they actually doing it? Who knows? Chop Chop says we must not fall out with China. They make spit in my kung po. Yes, I'm sure if we fell out with China, Chop Chop, that would happen, my friend. Pete says Australia stopped selling Huawei mobile phones due to China tracking data. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Pete, is I remember when Trump did that. Yeah, it was when Trump was in power the first time, wasn't it? He banned Huawei's 5G network from setting up because he didn't trust it. He said they were spying on us. But I want to know if they actually were spying on people, or if he was just saying it to fall out with them. But you're right. We don't really want to fall out with China, but say we don't really want to fall out with China. But have we ever really got on with them? Do you know what I mean? Hello, Ren. How are you doing, my mate? Ren has just joined us. So Ren and Chop Chop are mods on this channel. Thank you very much for being so. Let's have a look down here. I'm going to click on this. Let's see how good this is. Oh, I can't believe this. I'll tell you why in a minute. So the UK's biggest phone network created as Free and Vodafone merger gets conditional approval. Now, I currently have two internet providers. One for my phone. Oh, I'm with EE. That's my phone internet. And the house internet is unlimited 5G router with the free network. Yeah, free network, phone network. Now, before this, many moons ago, I was on with Vodafone. Okay, for many years, I was a happy Vodafone customer. But what happened was, I had a phone took out, okay, and somebody got hold of this phone and ran up 1,500 quid in the space of 2-3 days, obviously just buying stuff and charging it to the account on the phone. I rang up Vodafone because they sent me through what was supposed to be a bill of like 50 quid for the month. It was 1,500 quid. And I said to him, I said, I ain't paying that 1,500 quid, mate. You know, somebody's took this, they've stolen the phone or whatever, and they've purchased this, and I've reported it to you. So I'm not paying it. And they went, no, you're paying it. If you don't pay it, we'll send the bailiffs round. So I had to pay Vodafone 1,500 quid for somebody robbing my phone and abusing it. Okay. And I vowed never to go back with Vodafone again. And now I'm in a 2-year contract for the free network who's just merged with Vodafone. Not happy. We'll read about this in a minute because I need to know about it. Hello, Ren. And Chop says, what we need is new flags, a white cross, white bread in every country, waving like mad. Guess what book I am reading? What book are you reading, Ren? 50 Shades of Grey. That's my guess. Mind you, I tried reading that 50 Shades of Grey once, but I was really disappointed when I realised it didn't have any pictures in it. Just all these silly words. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So, the competition watchdog, the concise art of seduction. Well, I've got to tell you, Ren, it's not working. Ren said he's reading the book, The Concise Art of Seduction. The best thing to read about the concise art of seduction is one of the lad mags, mate. That's where I got all my education from. Anyway, let's get back in the story. The competition watchdog has approved the creation of the UK's biggest phone network by allowing the merger of Free and Vodafone. Regulator of the Competition and Marketing Authority CMA issued the decision despite previously saying tens of millions could pay more as a result of the amalgamation. CMA approval is contingent on the new entity spending billions to improve 5G internet services across its network, it said, which if that improves, that would be good because we always get 5G off our 5G router with the free network, but it's always a low signal. Legally binding targets that have been set out for the combined Vodafone and Free to agree and meet. They must cap some mobile tariffs and offer preset contractual terms to mobile virtual network operators, mobile providers that do not own the networks they operate on for 3 years. And both the CMA and communications regulator Ofcom will enforce these with annual progress reports being submitted by Vodafone and Free. The CMA would be responsible for monitoring and enforcing the consumer tariffs and wholesale terms protections. This is enough to satisfy competitions and concerns, CMA said. Hey, Lucy's awake, my wife. Hello, Lucy, love, my darling. She's in bed. She's having a lazy one today. Have you started a universe from nothing from yet, Ren? Bloody hell. Yeah, Chop said, oh my God, it was a night where Vodafone grew. They sent the bailiffs to me. I changed contracts, stopped payments 1 month too early. It was connected to an old email, never saw the threatening emails. Yeah, I absolutely categorically cannot stand Vodafone, allegedly, apparently. But there are other network providers out there. Can't stand them, mate. Customer service was terrible in my experience. Now, I'm glad if this free thing goes ahead with Vodafone, if they're going to pump billions into the 5G connectivity to give us a better signal at home. because our free 5G unlimited router is great for running Netflix and YouTube and stuff like that. But when you start uploading videos, it takes ages. Using the unlimited 5G broadband, which is all run off a 5G signal, the SIM. So what I do is, when I go to upload the video to YouTube, because it's in 4K and all this, I'll go out in the garden, put my mobile internet on, use EE's 5G, and instead of it taking 70, 80 minutes to upload, it takes like 8 minutes. And I have to stand in the garden for 8 minutes. But that's what I do to get the videos on there. Lou says you should. It's very sciencey. Red said he read something similar called Big Bang at the start of university. Just so I can give that book a read. Ventures says she's resting up for the next dance off. She needs to, mate. We got the next dance off pre-recorded, dropping at 10 o'clock. And if you liked yesterday's dance off, you'll like this one. Trust me. Ren says, I'm a science student, so sure we'll find it interesting. Lucy's tired, and now the weather. Morning, Lucy. Yes. And now the weather. What's the weather like today, Lucy? Come on, tell him. Cloudy with a chance of rain. Anyway, back to the story. Better 5G services through increased investment would boost competition between the mobile network operators in the long term. It added, benefiting millions. The decision takes the number of mobile phone networks from 4 to 3 and creates the UK's biggest provider with 27 million customers. The deal is reported to be worth 16.5 billion and has been seeking regulatory approval for nearly a year. Industry analyst Paolo Pescatore said, it's now up to both parties to deliver on their promises. That should mean wins for UK PLC, bringing much needed investment in the network and for consumers in the form of a better service, he says. Well, Paul, Chop, and myself have both had negative experiences with Vodafone. They're actually quite similar. When it comes to billing and stuff like that, they're brutal, mate. They don't care. They will send out the bailiffs. They will get their money. Come, was it hell or high water? They will get their money. So I'll never go back to them. And if they merge with Free, I'll have a look at what the pricing's like and see if the price goes up much, but see if the connectivity is better. I'll never get broadband again. I'll always just use one of these 5G routers that we got because they're amazing. I tried going with Virgin Media and Sky and all that. Nothing but hassle, nothing but delays and problems. 5G router, you sign up for it. Well, I've done a video on it ages ago. Like my own little review on it for nothing. And you order it at 6 o'clock on an evening. The whole router turns up 9 o'clock the next morning. You literally take it out the packet, put the SIM card in it comes with, plug it in, turn it on, boom. 5G unlimited connected internet. I think it was £10 or £11 a month for the first 6 months, and then it's £22 a month for the remainder of the 2-year contract. But I've got no complaints. Absolutely no complaints. And it's running this live stream right now, and it's running the internet on the computer that I'm reading the news from. So there we go. Ren says, I'm from India. Yeah, I've got family from India. Hannah's in New York. I miss her. Where do you live, Ren? You watched it so many times, cracks me up. Yeah, we got Australia. It was 35 today. Live life UCS. Mr. Sun, don't have much here. Maybe we'll come to Australia one day. Yes, Pete. We'll come to Australia. I will never go back to Vodafone all the time. I have a hole in my shirt. Yes. Power to you, mate. Ren says, Lucy, I'm living away from Hope for almost half a year now due to studies. I am homesick. So when I see your live stream, I feel cozy. Cool. Welcome anytime, as is anyone else. But Pete, I'll tell you, Pete Adventures in a Ute, okay, you'll see his symbol, he's messaging on it. You should check out his channel. He's only got a few shorts on there and he's just started putting a few videos up. but he's out in Melbourne, Australia, and I saw the steam engine video, which I really like. I like all the steam engines and stuff. Saw a steam engine video the other day, really interesting. So go and check it out. But if they ever put it back on again, me and Lucy used to go to every year the Dorset Steam Fair in the UK. Massive steam engine show on for about 5-6 days. Loads of beer tents, food stalls, and the biggest fun fair there as well, all set up in these farmers' fields. Not a problem, Pete. And they had all the steam engines going up and down, showing them chopping wood with the coal, and dug out trenches from like World War II to show you reenactments with the barbed wire and stuff. And then they had a big music truck. The back of a lorry was the bed for the bands, and they had a big PA system. A really good show. And I used to be based in the military camp right behind it, and we used to be allowed to get onto it for free when I was in the army. And we go down there and get drunk, fight each other, and come back. But in the later years, when they were family as well. But because COVID mucked it all up, it hasn't been able to get started again. But the farmer has got acres and acres of land, right? Field upon field that get filled up. And what he does, he don't farm on them. All he does, I think, is grow a bit of hay on there. Straw fields. He grows his hay throughout the year. Okay, does nothing but that. Cuts it all up, sells the hay on. And then he makes sure the field's cut before people turn up, and people can camp overnight. And there's thousands upon thousands of people, and caravans and tents and motorhomes and fun fairs, and you had like motorbike displays and big those big what are they called, you know, those big 4x4 trucks, monster trucks. They had those big monster truck things going on. So that was amazing. And yeah, I'm waiting for him to put it back on. But if you ever come over, Pete, look to see if the Dorset Steam Fair, type it in online, Dorset Steam Fair, Blandford, see if it's on. Because if it is worth you coming over. If you like that show that you filmed, you'd love this one. So Lucy goes, worried about Hannah. She said she's staying in a hostel. There's homeless people sleeping in the rooms near her, and she doesn't feel safe. Yeah, I just read on the news as well, Lucy. You know, that healthcare professional got shot in Manhattan. Apparently that's in New York as well. And he got shot like yesterday. Adventures in the Ute. Tasmania has an awesome steam train ride. It's amazing how they cut through the mountains for the track. Yeah, it's great. I'll tell you what, if you ever drive through Spain and talk about cutting through the mountains, when me and Lucy drove through France, Spain, and Portugal last year, when you get to Spain, the roads are like Mario Kart, mate. As you come out the south of France into the top part of Spain, so you've gone through France, go to the top part of Spain, you go through all the mountains, and you go up the road, you go like that, and it's like one of the Mario Kart mountains, where they've just cut a hole through it, and you go through, and you through it, and then you're around the corner, and you're up through it, down and around, and I swear they based all the roads in Mario Kart based on Spain, mate, I'm telling you. Absolute mental. And then as soon as you get out of the mountains, it's really nice, clean roads. My favourite roads to drive on out of France, Spain, and Portugal. Spain. France is too windy. It's too in and out and roundabouts and stuff. Spain, you can just get where you're going. Yeah, and when you go up the big mountains, you just climb and climb and climb and climb and climb. And then you climb so high, you're in amongst the clouds. And we did that. We went to Spain and we pulled up, and it was like you were driving in heaven, mate, because there's just clouds around it, and then you just see like the pit stop at the side where the petrol station is, and we pulled up at the side, got a little kettle out, made a couple of cups of coffee on a little burner stove. Crazy, mate. Really good. We'll be doing the trip again in April, but this time with Hannah and our caravan in tow. Red says, hope she has a good trip. The hostel, though, why is she renting a hotel room? It's much safer. Yeah, she's gone with the college, and the college have put the accommodation. But I think the college have mucked up, because Millie, who's sharing a room with Hannah, has said these rooms don't look nothing like the pictures. that they were told the accommodation would look like. It looks like a prison, mate. I've seen bigger prison cells. Luce goes, why wouldn't have teachers would have booked up a dodgy hotel? Yeah, it's not a dodgy hotel, it's a hostel. You've got the streets, a hostel, motels and hotels, and they're in a hostel, mate. Look up Tasmania West Coast Wilderness Railway. No, I'm going to wait for you to do a video on it, Pete, and I'm going to watch it. You are my link to Australia. I know the college booked it up for them to stay in. Lucy, you better have a good talk with the teacher when they come back. Chop Chop says, I love the English roads, the potholes and bumper to bumper traffic because of roadworks and magic. Yeah, tell me about it. If you ever get a chance to drive over to Spain, it's amazing. Everyone canes it on the motorways. They treat it like an autobahn, but you got to watch it because the police are out there. But big, flat, really nice roads. And the mountain roads are amazing. As soon as you get into that mountain range between the back end of Spain to the beginning of France, it's like Mario Kart. It's really good. Well, that was today's news, guys. You've all been absolutely amazing, and I want to thank you all from the bottom of my hearts for joining in and supporting this channel. We will be doing the live streams every morning. If, like I say, if I'm not going to if I'm not going to be up at 8 o'clock in the morning because I need a line, I will still do the news, but it'll be a bit later, 9-10 o'clock. But whenever I do the news, I will always schedule the night before. So if you're ever wondering if the news is going to be on, just have a look at my live stream schedule, and that will tell you. Okay, I can't commit to every day because sometimes we need a line, boys and girls, don't we? But I'm going to try to, as often as possible, live stream news. Okay, it's informative, it's fun, it's in a relaxed format, and you guys get to interact, which I really like. Also, for consistency on the channel, we'll be doing this most mornings, but for other consistency on the channel, every morning, if you want to see me and Lucy be idiots and dance and have a laugh like this, we put an entertaining short out every morning at 10 o'clock and an informative video with anything we want to talk about that can help people achieve their goals, dreams, and ambitions, either in the search for money as a business or a side hustle, or giving advice based on our experience and things we've done in life, even starting YouTube and how you can get going. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you've been on the live, thank you for joining in. And if you're watching on this replay, thank you very much. And I will see you on the next live stream news. Take care and see you later, guys. Bye.